Chapter 13. Safe at last. Link's men were sitting in a circle on the field with Aelin's, when Aelin and Vince rode up on the warhorse.
Ah, Aelin. Aethor was just telling me how you got your ass kicked by a river fish.
The men chuckled at his expense as Aelin dropped down from the horse. Aelin looked at Aethor, who was grinning at him.
You two certainly are chummy. Having a good time.
I'll take this over beating the life out of each other any day.
Link said, standing.
So, what did my liege say?
All forces are to be escorted into the Reach and armed for battle. This boy has some kind of power that Guldamir wants, and his forces are sure to be on their way here to fetch it.
Link's face went from smile to frown.
All right, let's get moving,
He said sternly, mounting his horse.
Follow me.
The large front gate of the castle opened to let them through. Aelin's men were sent to the armory for food, rest, and were equipped with sentinel armor. A sentinel guard gave a suit of armor to Fjorn. He tried to place a boot on, only to realize it covered his entire leg and threw it away in frustration.
Little good this will do. What we be needing is some dwarven armor. That's the good stuff.
Braun looked at him confused.
How do we even put this on?
He said, getting frustrated. His armor was slightly skewed, his big chest and stomach bulging from the sides. He tried to put a helmet on, but it wouldn't fit over his big head, and he also threw it in frustration. Aethor left his armor sitting on the bed. Instead, he went shirtless and donned some tight tan pants and leather shoes. He jumped in place a few times, then punched at the air. An audible crack sounded out, and he smiled. Link was attending his men on the outer castle wall.
My prince. Two figures were seen stumbling toward the castle gate. One of them looks injured.
Link dismissed the man, then turned toward the gate. He marched out, followed by Vince and a procession of sentinel guards. A stunningly beautiful woman in a black dress was helping a man who seemed to be from the Ronin city, his arm around her shoulder. He was limping badly. They collapsed not far from them, and Link ran over to them, followed by Vince.
Be careful, Link. It could be a trap.
Link ignored the warning. He helped the woman to her feet first.
Thank you, my lord. Please, help my friend here. His leg is wounded.
Of course, but who are you? Why is a beautiful woman like you wandering out in the Badlands?
I'm Violet Valentine, and this is Shin-san.
Shin lifted his head to speak.
We were separated from Aelin's army at Torrent's Well.
Any friend of Aelin's is a friend of mine.
Link gestured to his guards.
Help them inside. Bring Aelin to us, and we can vouch for them if their story rings true.
Aelin came into the armory wearing an Aikitai gi, similar to the one he wore training under Master Den.
It seems someone finally got you to pay attention long enough to show you some of the martial arts.
Aelin smiled.
You're looking stronger than ever, father. Your time in the pit hardly affected you at all.
Aelin's admiration for Aethor hadn't faded, even after all of the years of being apart.
Well, how about we catch up a little at the training ground?
Aethor said with a wicked grin. Aelin gulped audibly while nodding his head. He had witnessed his father training when he was growing up and knew the kind of power he possessed. But he remembered Master Den and his Aikitai training and was confident in his abilities.
Do ye think that wise? We could be on the verge of a battle.
It's been too long. I want to see how strong my son has grown. After seeing how he defeated Warden, my warrior spirit is calling to be tested.
Aethor tightened the string on his pants, then headed for the training ground just outside of the armory. Aelin followed his lead, stretching his arms as he walked.
This I got to see.
Braun said, pulling Fjorn with him. They followed them, and just like that, the entire armory emptied outside. Aelin and Aethel stood at either end of a circular arena, lined with a wooden fence. There was a viewing area on the second floor of the armory, which was filled with people.
It seems I'm not the only one curious about your strength, Aelin. Try not to hold back on my part.
King Loch Lionheart walked up to the edge of the viewing balcony, accompanied by Kimber and Law. Aelin took note that Kimber was watching him, and he felt his nerves shoot through him, adding to the already nervous tension that had built up in the training ground.
Go, Aelin!
Kimber yelled from the balcony. Aelin looked up and gave her an awkward thumbs up and a smile.
Best not to keep the people waiting,
Aethor said, bouncing on his heels. He took his martial form, the intercepting fist. Aelin's stance closed up, his open palms facing Aethor, taking his Aiki-Tai stance. The crowd went silent, and the two stared at each other for a brief moment. Aethor made the first move, leaping forward with a side kick, which Aelin easily avoided by using his Irimi technique, an entering slide forward. He placed a hand on Aethor's leg, attempting to throw him off balance, but Aethor quickly retracted, switching his hips and unleashing a backward kick at Aelin. Aelin moved, stepping backward from the forward foot, narrowly avoiding the blow. Aethor unleashed a barrage of jumping side kicks, one side to the other. Aelin mirrored his movements, knocking away each kick. His back hit the outer fence as Aethor's kick came in. Aelin used his tauntaun, moving his back leg around as Aethor smashed the line of the fence railing behind him. Aelin followed it up with a back elbow, knocking Aethor forward off balance. Aethor used the momentum to jump forward onto the lower railing of the fence he just broke, jumping back toward him with a spinning tornado kick. Aelin wasn't expecting the subtle retort, and the kick hit him hard on the side of the head. Aelin rolled with the blow and regained his feet in an instant. The crowd cheered as the two danced around each other.
Jen must have been quite the teacher. He certainly made you good at running away.
Aethor teased as he charged forward again. Aelin knew Aethor would continue the pressure with powerful range kicks, so he closed the distance. As Aethor moved in with a flying kick, Aelin moved out to the right. Now they were face to face. Aethor punched at Aelin with such speed that an audible crack whipped past Aelin's ear. Aelin knew he couldn't survive a hit like that and dashed forward using Irimi. He raised his forward elbow and knocked Aethor's fist to the side, his elbow meeting Aethor under the jaw, while simultaneously sliding his forward leg behind Aethor's forward leg. Aethor's momentum carried him forward into Aelin's awaiting elbow. Aelin's feet planted, and Aethor had nowhere to go but backward. Aelin was like a wall, and Aethor hit his elbow, then hit the ground hard. The crowd cheered again. Aethor wiped blood from his lip and smiled at seeing the red fluid on his hand. Aelin gasped as he realized his mistake in making his father bleed. Aethor threw his hands to the ground behind his head and finally to his feet. He licked the blood from his lip. His eyes started to burn a familiar red.
Whoa now! I thought this was a friendly bout.
Aelin said nervously with his hands up. Aethor smiled wickedly, then leaped forward with incredible speed. He sank his fist into Aelin's midsection, knocking the wind out of him and blasted him backward through the railing into a nearby table and chairs. The wood splintered and dust enveloped him. Yep, that looked like it hurt. As the dust blew around Aethor's feet, he looked straight ahead into the haze. His fist straight out in front of him. He panted heavily, waiting. Link came up to Locke and whispered something to him. Several guards escorted Violet and Shin in.
Aelin is a little indisposed at the moment. You might as well stay and enjoy the show.
They took a look over the arena to see Aethor standing in the middle. Wood splinters and dust exploded out from the far wall. Aelin stood there, not so impressed. The cut above his eye had reopened. He had a look of determination on his face.
That's better. Now at least you'll take me seriously.
The red in his eyes burned like a small flame.
You're one to talk. You pulled that punch.
Aelin said, grinning.
I've seen you fell a tree in the living forest with that punch before.
I'm not trying to kill you, Aelin, but I will if you don't take this seriously.
A small flash of red shone in Aelin's eyes for a moment, and Aethor smiled.
Not long now,
he said to himself. Aelin charged at him. He leaped forward, one hand passing over his head, the other passing low. He switched his hips as he switched his hands. Aethor didn't know which direction the attack was coming from until it was too late. Aelin struck with an elbow high and a fist low, the iron vest technique, a perfect mixture of Taisabaki body movement and defensive strikes. Aethor tried to counter, but was caught off guard by the attack. He felt Aelin's elbow connect with his face as Aelin's fist hit his midsection at the same time. Aethor staggered, then narrowly avoided another strike by using a backward handspringing kick, and blocked the kick with his lower hand, his body fully protected by the iron vest stance. Aethor raised an eyebrow.
Good technique, but it can't block everything.
He licked the blood once again and bounced back and forth on his heels with a smile. Aelin knew this was Aethor's technique to threaten the enemy, much like how Den used Sagan to threaten his opponents with fear. Aelin used his Sugiash to slide in, then used Tenkan from his back foot to close the distance. As he spun to deliver the elbow punch combo, Aethor quickly leaped in forward with his dragon kick. Aelin crumpled in half, then slid across the arena floor.
Aelin!
Kimber and Violet both shouted. Kimber looked over at the other woman. She was shockingly beautiful, and a pang of jealousy hit her.
Who is that?
Violet looked at her as if she was silently judging her, then turned back to Aelin, who was holding his back on the ground in pain.
Aelin, you don't want to lose in front of your girlfriend, do you?
Violet shouted and Aelin's eyes shot in her direction. He got to his feet immediately embarrassed.
Violet, you're alive.
Then he noticed Shin standing beside her.
Shin, praise be.
Kimber felt her heart sink a little.
Did she just say she's his girlfriend?
I didn't know he had one, but he didn't deny it.
Kimber looked at Violet scornfully. Violet just shrugged one shoulder at her. Aethor came in and took Aelin from his feet with a sweeping kick.
You really shouldn't get so distracted during a duel.
Aelin landed on his back as Aethor came round with a flipping overhead kick. Aelin rolled backward, narrowly avoiding it.
Once I've beaten you at our little match here, I might just take that girlfriend of yours on a date myself, so she can experience a real Nair.
Aelin's brow turned down in anger.
That's right, take the bait, kid.
After everything I went through to save you, this is how you treat me?
You're not my son. You're half the man your brother was. No wonder you couldn't save Asta.
Aethor goaded him. Aelin exploded with anger. Another flash of red briefly flashed in his eyes.
That'll do it. If you want to beat me, Aelin, take that blood on your brow and taste it.
Why would I take advice from you?
Trust me, Aelin. Taste the blood. Taste your lineage. Feel it mix with your rage and your hatred. Let it burn like fuel in a furnace.
Aelin wiped the blood that was now dripping from his wound. He licked it from his hand, and his eyes went red. His whole body began to burn. Every part of him, his life force was burning like fuel in a fire.
Now come at me.
Aelin shot off like a missile, slamming Aethor with a spear tackle, sending him through the wooden railing and through a barn door at the other side of the practice ground. They landed in the hay, and Aethor groaned in pain as Aelin raised a fist on top of him. Aethor held up a hand.
Nice one, son. It seems you got it down quickly.
Aethor said, pained but smiling. Aelin's anger faded, and his eyes turned their noble blue, looking Aethor in each eye.
So that's what you were doing? You were teaching me how to use it, goading me into it?
Of course, fool. I didn't mean a word of it. The blood rage technique feeds on your fury. It's yours now, Aelin. Now your enemies will fear your wrath.
Aethor ruffled Aelin's hair.
Now, if you don't mind, I think I need to go see a doctor, then have a long soak in a tub.
Aelin laughed and helped him to his feet. They walked outside, and Aethor held up Aelin's hand. The crowd cheered and applauded. Aelin looked up to the balcony at Violet. She smiled at him, jumping and clapping her hands. Kimber looked at her suspiciously, then turned to leave. Link and Vince came down from the balcony to speak with them.
Good show. I haven't seen a fight that intense since I saw someone steal Vince's lunch.
Vince nudged him and smiled.
It's been too long since we trained together. Would you train me like you trained Aiden?
Those eyes were full of pride.
I would be honored, son. You know, I've been waiting for you to ask since you took your first steps.
Aethor said, cuffing his wrist.
I hate to butt in on this touching moment, but the king would like a word regarding those two.
Link pointed towards Shin and Violet. They headed up to the balcony. As soon as Evan was in sight, Violet ran at him and embraced him at the stairs, sinking his face into her bosom.
What an impressive display, Aelin.
She let go, hearing Aylin's muffled voice in her cleavage.
Good to see you're alive and well.
Alive, but not so well.
Shin said, pointing to a wound on his leg.
Nothing to worry about. Paladin's Reach has the best healers in the world. Come with me, and we'll get you fixed up in no time.
Before you go, tell us what happened at Torrens Well.
Shin paused for a moment.
I stepped out to get some air. The inn was too crowded for my liking. I noticed a raven overhead. Then I saw the lights dim. I knew we were in for trouble, and I saw Miss Valentine running from soldiers down by the river. I caught up and was able to dispatch them, but I was injured in the battle. By the time I got back, Torrens Well was on fire, and an army stood between us and the rest of you. So we journeyed northward, and eventually came by a road past the scar. We got lost, and almost eaten by a hypnotic toad with a burn scar.
Just then, Law, Kimber, and Locke joined them. His story checks out. We also had a run-in with a hypnotic toad. Shin bowed his head to Law.
That's proof enough for me. I believe you aren't spies of Necropire. Go and get Shinsun seen to.
They convinced both bowed, then escorted him to the infirmary.
Tonight, there is a production by some traveling showman at the theater. Our theater is unlike anything you've ever seen. I'd like you to join me as my guests of honor.
We would be honored, Lord Lionheart, Law said with a bow. Violet clapped excitedly. Kimber turned to Law.
I'm not sure about her. There's something off about her.
I understand your jealousy, this kind heart. But the heart is a fickle thing, and so easily it corrupts as easily as it is corrupted. Best to steer clear of matters of the heart. Kimber stared at Violet, contemplating.
The Abyss will have that old fool!
Guldamir croaked as he made it to the bottom of the crater of Mount Muse, realizing he'd been juked. He looked even more decrepit than usual as he growled out in frustration, then placed his hands together. Two acolytes dragged one of the older men captured in the pursuit toward him. Guldamir raised a skeletal hand as Black Miasma gripped the man and drained him of his life force until there was nothing left but a mummified husk.
Ah, that's better.
His voice gained a bit of vigor.
They'll be at Paladin's Reach by now. I wanted to avoid taking that fortress until I had secured more power, but it seems time has now run short. If Pendragon or that brat collects another shard, they might be strong enough to defeat me. This will not do.
He led his forces to the center of the crater, the same place Lawcaster Pendragon had been imprisoned. An impossible-looking waterfall flowed upwards from a pool. Guldamir stood by it.
Pray with me, and pray well.
Acolytes lined up in a semicircle behind him, each one clasping their hands together as they joined the circle. Smoky black miasma raised from them, and they reached out to Guldamir, each one raising his power. Guldamir reached out a skeletal hand, and black miasma made a smoky, circular shape on the ground. It coalesced into the crushed, rotted, and deformed body of Haram Halfborn. It took 4 soldiers to drag the body into the pool, after which they quickly retreated. Guldamir then held his skeletal hand over the pool. The water turned black, as if somebody had just poured black ink into it. It started to flow like a whirlpool. Darkness spread from Guldamir as he extended his arms wide. The light around him grew dim, and he chanted words of unknown origin. The head and horns of a bull emerged, followed by the hairy, muscular body of a man with hoofed feet. A nightmare creature the size of a house stomped out of the water. The black miasma stopped flowing from the acolytes. They all fell to their knees, exhausted. Guldamir almost did the same, but two soldiers came in to catch him and hold him upright. The beast stood before him. It was massive in size, and with its muscular frame, it looked like it could crush them to dust easily. The soldiers moved back in fear, and Guldamir straightened up. The beast took a knee, still towering over them.
Thank you for bringing me back, my lord. I will not fail you again.
You'd best not, Aram Halfborn. Or it'll be the last thing you ever do.
Haram Halfborn was born 450 years after the Cataclysm. His mother was dying of an unknown sickness. She was brought to the Cathedral of the Godfeared for healing, but there was little Guldamir was willing to do for her. She was a devout follower of the Church of the Godfeared, but was poor and had little to offer the church. Guldamir made a deal with her. In exchange for her life, he would make sure her unborn child lived to see its first days. She took the deal, and Haram Halfborn was born that day. He was so small and practically lifeless, Guldamir had to reach into the abyss to revive him from death several times. Each time it corrupted him, the abyss touched him, changed him, making him stronger, but ever more twisted. Guldamir grew fond of the boy as Haram gained the ability to fight the flows of the abyss himself. Eventually, Guldamir found he could find him in the abyss over longer periods of time, as if he could travel through the abyss, much like nightmare creatures could. Each time Haram died, from illness, by accident, or in the line of duty, he was a little less human and much more of a nightmare creature. He waited at the edge of the abyss, the black void around him. He could see the flows of the spirit river rushing past, not water, but life force being consumed. Behind him, the flow fell over a ledge into the black void below it. He knew if he fell over it, he could never return to the world of the living. Guldamir had told him that if he gained more of the power, he could reach further into the abyss, even enough to pull the long dead from it, but not those who had passed into the lands beyond. Though what monsters he'd pull out with them, he never knew. He never cared. Guldamir had given him life for 60 years, a life he would have otherwise not have had. He pushed against the flow of the abyss. His incredible strength held him firm in the current from the brink of death, and there he waited until Guldamir came for him.
Has my lord abandoned me? Could he have been defeated?
He began to think to himself as endless time seemed to pass. Eventually he lost hope and began to drift. He accepted his fate, and over the ledge he fell. The abyss gripped him, but Guldamir appeared before him. A shadowy apparition grabbed him in a smoky, dark-clawed hand, pulling him from the dark void of the abyss. His body changed. It morphed. It grew bigger, stronger, and more twisted. He felt his body become more solid, and he took his first steps back into the living world, raising himself from a pool of darkness. He took a knee before the Lord of the Damned.
Thank you for bringing me back, my lord. I will not fail you again.
Determination burning in his eyes. Alim was in his room at the keep. He sat on his bed with a sigh. He didn't own any clothing appropriate for such a hoity-toity event and didn't want to embarrass himself.
Maybe I shouldn't go.
Aelin thought when he heard a knock on the door. Kimber came in holding some formal clothing, black trousers, a belt, a white formal shirt, and a red and black tailcoat with a floral design.
I know you haven't had much time to yourself, so I got you these to wear. I even made a few modifications to the coat that I think you might like.
She said with a smile. Aelin took the clothes, looking over them happily.
Thank you, Miss Kindheart.
Aelin said formally. It's got a frown from Kimber.
Kimber is fine.
She said, sitting on the bed next to him.
They told me you were sent to the pit. That must have been awful.
She said, placing her hand on his leg.
It was.
Aelin said, looking down at her hand.
I would have died in there, but I found Aethor alive, and I had to get him out. I didn't care what happened to me as long as I could protect him, like he protected me when I was a boy. If I hadn't gone there, I would have never met Shin, Braun, Fjorn, Gyr, or Rioviel. He was killed in the pit, and Gyr sacrificed himself so we could get here safely.
Aelin's eyes began to tear up. Kimber helped him.
My father was killed as well, during the attack at the temple.
I'm sorry, Kimber. I wish I had have been stronger. Then I might have been able to.
Aelin was stopped short by Kimber turning his face to hers. She kissed him. Aelin was taken off guard and just stared at her in a state of shock.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that.
Kimber said, standing up. Just then, Violet came walking into the room. She glared daggers at Kimber, who also did the same in return.
I should be going.
Kimber said as she rushed past the other woman.
Was I interrupting something?
No, nothing at all.
Aelin said unconvincingly. Violet was wearing a purple skin-tight dress. The dress was strapless, ending at the arms and shoulders. Fluffy purple and gray trim surrounded the top and showed an ample amount of bosom.
You best not be sleeping around on me, Aelin,
she said, pouting, pressing her breasts together to give him a good look.
No, of course not. Kimber just came around to give me some clothes to wear.
Violet glared at him for a brief moment.
Well, we best get you nice and relaxed before tonight. Let me help you ease your nerves.
She pushed him back onto the bed. Link was talking to his father in his quarters.
It's of no coincidence that these men showed up just as Guldamir's army marches on our doorstep.
They did just escape from a famously inescapable pit.
They have something he wants. He wouldn't risk a frontal assault on Paladin's Reach unless he was desperate. He hasn't tried to take the Reach since his last defeat, and I was a much younger man then.
Locke said, sitting down. He looked tired.
Even if he was to attack, the purifying barrier would stop him from using his necromancy, and he knows he can't stand against the Paladins of the Reach without that.
Even so, double the guard around the theater and keep an eye out from the wall.
As you wish, Father.
Link responded and turned to leave. Law was curious about the theater. The music emanating from it seemed to carry chaos magic over the entire city, forming some sort of protective barrier. He entered Link's quarters as he was leaving.
Come to see the king, Master Pendragon?
Yes, there was something I needed to ask him. Perhaps you could enlighten me with the answer, Law said, stroking his beard.
I don't see why not. Try me.
The theater.
Yes? What about it?
How does it work? Link's face went completely straight, and he gave Law a dumb look. Link stood there kicking the ground, holding his chin.
That's a tough one. Maybe you'd better go see the king after all. Good luck.
Law just mumbled something about young people incoherently and went inside.
Lord Casta Pendragon. Ready for the performance tonight?
Yes, but I was hoping you might illuminate me on something about your city that has me rather perplexed.
Of course. There isn't a man alive who knows more about the rich histories of Paladin's Reach, from the battles of old to land rights, to political policies and trade.
I know it all.
Locke said, pacing while he boasted. Very good, Law said happily. He was finally going to get an answer to his question. Your theater, the barrier, how does it work? Locke stopped still in his tracks, a stupefied look pinned on his face.
Well, I think it might be. From the records, maybe it's... You know what?
He turned to face Law.
I haven't a clue. This whole damn time it's been protecting our city from evil, and I never once questioned how it worked. After the show tonight, I'll send my best scholars to figure it out.
I see. I thought as much. No one living knew why Paladin's Reach was protected from dark chaos magic. Would you mind if I took a look too? I'm kind of an expert on all things magic related.
I don't see why not. You might even be able to improve it for us. Now, let's get a move on before we're late for the show.
Locke said, putting an arm over Law's shoulder, and directed him out the door.